Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another episode of Rendezvous with Anza Saqib on CxO Global TV. Hope you all are doing well. CxO Global Forum is a knowledge-sharing platform for all C-levels across the globe. We take massive pride in our contributions to the knowledge economy with our league of extraordinary thought leaders. They're not only domain experts, but those individuals that have made a considerable amount of difference in the fields that they're working in. So they really are the movers and shakers of this industry. Today as well, we've got a very extraordinary gentleman with us. His name is Mr. Zeeshan Bokhari. He's the founder and CEO of GlowBug. So let's chat with him a little more and get to know him better. Zeeshan Saab, welcome to the show. If you could start by introducing yourself and a little bit about your professional experiences, please.
First of all, thank you, Anza, and thank you for having me here. And I would like to also thank CxO Global Forum. They are doing a wonderful job here. So, starting about myself a little bit, I come from a very humble background with a league of engineers. My grandfather was an engineer. My father was an engineer. I'm an engineer as well. So. I was born and brought up in Karachi, and I took my initial education from Karachi, and then from there onwards, I moved to Islamabad some 18 years back, just in the look of some future prospects. And as you remember, back in 2002, 2003, there was a boom in telecommunication industry. That is where I decided to, take a leapfrog as far as my, career was concerned. And I moved on to, by graduating myself to Islamabad. And since then, the journey has never stopped. And Alhamdulillah, in this span of like 18 years in Islamabad and a couple of years before that, I've been able to work with some leading organizations, whether they are, local enterprises or be it global Fortune 500s. I've been able to serve the government of Pakistan and eventually, serving the international multilateral forums such as World Bank and the USA. And finally, I decided to actually, come up with something of my own. And that's where I actually, decided to come up with a company where we can exercise our own ideas and opportunities. And it was, I believe that after post-COVID, it was a very good time to actually, revitalize yourself and be able to, go into the market. So that's why I started, my own venture on that side. So this is just a brief introduction about myself. Apart from this, alhamdulillah, while working for different organizations, I have been able to not only contribute, but take part in some leading initiatives. When I say leading initiatives, some of them are Broadband Pakistan, which was actually launched back in 2007 by PTCL, and we were actually providing them with the technology side of things, if not the service part. Then we talk about Wingle. You must have heard about, there was a product called Wingle. And then there was another product called Chargy, which was launched by PTCL. So I was actually on the other side where, we help, service provider realize their, a new service provisioning, product development, and so forth, and we help them with the technology side on that side. Apart from that, when I moved on, from there onwards, I was able to take part in some very interesting initiatives such as Spark China fiber optic cable and also the CMV5, though the contributions were limited, but in the sense that we were able to, identify the right strategic partners for our organizations in which I was employed at that time. So all in all, alhamdulillah, I've been able to secure, while being a commercial guy, technical commercial guy, I've been able to contribute as much as $600 million, to different organizations.
It's been such a Right. It's been such an illustrious career with you. And, the more we hear about it, the more it inspires me on a personal level, because I also originally belong from Karachi, living in Islamabad. So, you've achieved it all. That's a great, mashallah. But, moving on a little bit about what all we can see from your LinkedIn profile, your achievements are all there. But what really stands out is something I'd like to ask you. A lot of people know what it means to be an entrepreneur, right? What does it mean to be an intrapreneur?
Yeah. Okay, that's very interesting. Actually, in a country like us, where there is a struggling economy, and we are always set out with challenges, it's always good to have some sort of support where you can flex your muscles, and that's what actually comes in when you're working within an organization, and trying to evolve, and bring in some new values, do some new value creation. But the flip side of it is, you have to remain within the confines of the business strategies and objectives of the organization, right? And that's where entrepreneurship comes in. And as you see today, the entrepreneurial ecosystem, which has raised right from ground up. Most of the people who have contributed as entrepreneurs were entrepreneurs in their prior, engagements. If you can see, a lot of people on that side. So entrepreneurship and entrepreneurism is something which allows you, to develop products, bring new ideas to the table, while you have an investor who is always ready to listen, and that's your organization. So this is a good side of it. And another part which we, since you must have been talking a lot about cloud nowadays,
Yeah.
it all started with a server room and transformed into a data center, and then it went on all the way to the cloud. So this was the technological transformation. So similarly, when I started out my career, it was just called the marketing and sales department. Then it became only the marketing and marketing communications department. Then the product development was associated with it. Then it actually kept transforming into more of techno-commercial and something where we today embrace a chief digital officer, where technology and marketing and sales they just synergize and combine together, and providing people the right user experience, to have them clashed with your product and services on that side.
Right. So very briefly, since you have had tons of experience working in the techno-commercial space in Pakistan, where do the opportunities lie, and where do the challenges lie?
See, as far as the market is concerned and the opportunity is concerned, the opportunity is immense. If you see, we talk about the leading telcos only. We see a lot of techno-commercial professionals, and who have come to the limelight, and they have been able to deliver dividends to those companies. But this is what is important, to embrace. Until you don't empathize, until you don't understand the technology, this is my way of thinking. But that's the only way you are able to sell it well. In technology, it's very important to have a thorough understanding of what you're doing. Until you don't know and you try to skim on the surface, it would not it won't yield results for your organization, for your startup, whatever the case may be. So that's why the techno-commercial people transforming into entrepreneurs, even entrepreneurs, there's a lot of opportunity for them to exercise even in the days to come. Because if I know my cutting edge technologies such as AI, blockchain, or even cloud computing, and I'm able to sell them well, that's where the trick lies. The trick of the trade, and then you're able to convince the other half, which is your customer, better. So there's a lot of opportunity on that side. Yes. And your second question, if you may repeat.
The biggest challenge that you see, one challenge.
See, the biggest challenge, the biggest challenge is in terms of market cap. We don't still have enough market for us to consume our own professionals here. We see a lot of gap in terms of demand side, supply side when it comes to developers and technical resources. We have
you
a
think
lot
this could also be accredited to industry academia linkages or the lack thereof?
Yes, you can say that, but again, here the supply is greater than the demand, because if a guy who comes from a commerce background or a typical commercial background, they can also pursue their portfolios in any technology led driven organization on that side, and that is also fair. But when you talk about challenges for such people, is that the intake or the supply side is way bigger than the demand side altogether. So this is one of the challenges which people are facing right now, and that really reduces the overall income situation for such professionals, to exercise themselves. Yeah.
Right. So, Mr. Zeeshan, we know that Pakistan is now the third largest provider of freelancers around the globe. I've also seen your comments time and time again on different reviews about the potential of freelancers in Pakistan. Are we tapping into the full potential of freelancers in Pakistan?
Yes, this is a very interesting question. I would actually, sum it up by saying that, the aspiration behind even my own organization, GlowBug Technologies, is working and investing in alternate economy. So alternate economy is the way to go. Is the future for a country like Pakistan, which is challenged from different socioeconomic issues. So alternate economy is something which which allows you to take a flight from your traditional economic measures. From regulatory perspective or from policy perspective, you're not as ready. Even the banking system does not support it because they are more traditional on that side. So this is where the real opportunity lies, with the 225 million people, and 60 to 65% of your population is youth, which is under 35 years of age. So This is where the real potential lies, and I believe that till date we are a little bit missing on it. But yes, as you mentioned earlier, that we are the third or fourth largest freelancing supply side or freelancing economy. So the potential is there, and our organization is actually working right now as we speak to help these freelancers, and how they can earn and how they can remain relevant at all times. So this is what we are up to right now.
Definitely, and kudos to you for doing that. And it really warms up our heart when we see that so many accomplished Pakistanis, rather than looking into opportunities abroad, are trying to tap into the local market and the local resources that are available, but bring them at par with the international level. So I'm so glad and honored that CxO gives us the opportunities to connect with such individuals like yourself. So very briefly, I would like to learn about, the inspiration where all of this comes from. So, maybe if you could narrate an incident in your corporate life that completely changed your perspective, what would that be? Yes, Mr. Zeeshan, are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Sorry that there was some issue with the internet.
No worries. So just wanted to know if you could narrate any incident in your corporate life which completely changed your perspective. What would that incident be?
Actually, Anja, there was a point in time I was a very career-oriented guy, and working for large enterprises and focusing on how I can grow within an organization. That's where I came across a customer who was also a very senior gentleman, and I believe that he was a person who made me pivot in my career. The gentleman actually, we were actually, planned to and scheduled to, conduct a pilot project with one of the customers and to fly, beyond borders, in fact, to China, Shanghai, and discuss some proof of concepts, and from there onwards take on the pilot project. So while we actually continued to discuss how things would actually sum up to materialize the opportunity, at that time I used to see the customer seeking an excuse and leaving later in the evening time, and doing something which was not, I wasn't aware of it, and when this activity entire concluded, the customer requested me to extend his stay for a couple of days, and I agreed at first because I was heading the marketing side. So I said, okay, fair enough, I'll agree, and we can extend a couple of days. And that's when I found the gentleman was actually by being the group chief operating officer of one organization, was also doing something of his own as an entrepreneur, which was not in conflict of interest with his organization at all. And yet he was trying to, establish something while staying committed to his, parent organization where he was working. And that actually, completely changed the perspective with which I used to think, and, I used to work with. And that's where I decided that, that this is the way to go about entrepreneurship, and how to become an entrepreneur from an entrepreneur. So the first step from there onwards I took was an entrepreneur, but then I evolved myself, and today I'm sitting after a couple of failures. I'm sitting here and talking to you as an entrepreneur, and alhamdulillah that the organization is successful on that side. So this is one of the places. Back in 2011, 2012, this incident happened, and that completely changed the perspective with which I used to think about about myself, about my career, about how things should go, and how to actually come out of your comfort zone and stretch yourself and work extra hours. At times there were times when I was working like 18, 19 hours. Wow. And just to take a taste of what entrepreneurship is all about when you are pursuing a career within a large organization.
Right, absolutely. And what a story. It really makes me wonder how little seemingly unimportant incidents can really change our lives, be it in our personal lives or our professional journeys. So moving on, we're going to move towards a more fun segment. This is called the rapid fire round. And no cheating. You have to state the first thing that comes to your mind when when I'm going to say the following words or phrases. Right? Ready?
Yeah.
So number one. PSEB, Pakistan Software Export Board.
The one word which comes to my mind is they're stretching. They're doing their extra mile, and it's really good to see, because I've been a part of the government and I saw this organization. It was struggling at one point in time, and this is what the leadership brings to the table. Good leadership can bring make a dull organization fly, and that's what I can see from PSEB, and they are creating an impact.
Right. A PITB.
In dire need of evolution. I think they need to evolve now. What was relevant back in 2002, 2003, when they were they were an organization. I think it's time for them to take a backseat and go back to the drawing board. Think about how they can be more effective. Providing basic e-government services, is of no use to them, and somehow or the other they are just trying to they are becoming more of and some sort of an organization which is more focused on services rather than strategies and basic services. That is also, I would say, grassroots level services, which shouldn't be the case. That should be actually driven by the private sector.
Digital development.
Well, digital development, the first thing which comes to my mind is inevitable. It's inevitable for us to digitally develop ourselves, and we need a lot. We need to cover a lot of ground right now. $2 billion, whether it's export, your internal market, we have seen the rise and fall in a very short span for the e-commerce. And what are the challenges, and why the government is not coming to the help despite all policies and so forth. So this is a place where I believe there's a lot of potential. And there are organizations, international institutions, local institutions which are ready to invest. I think the government should take, should grasp this opportunity and pay, whatever is required to digitally develop the country.
Conglomerate,
a good place to start. That's what I would say. A place where you can have a good start. It's not necessary. Yes, startup is also a good place. I'm not saying it's not, but kids who are they want to learn, they want to grow, they want to have a better future. That's where you start, and then you start taking risks. So, when you make kids prone to start up right away without understanding how the market acts, making good slide decks and pitch decks and going to the market are two different things. So, yes, it's a good place to start to have that feeling good, that feel good kind of a feeling, and then you should start, after you understand the market, then you should go and hit the market and try to get maximum out of it, because it increases the probability for you to succeed in the market.
Right. Last one, we have to be brief about this one-liner. Zeeshan Bokhari.
Well, I would say so far I've tried to be a hustler. I've tried to be, someone who would, go and roll his sleeves up, try to get into things, try to bring out the solutions and apply them. We talking critically, proposing solutions but not implementing it is something which is unlike me. I would always want to, whatever I say, I would like to do it. So that's how I feel about myself.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much, Mr. Zeeshan Bokhari. You did wonderfully. It has been an honor and a privilege talking to you here today, learning from you. But before we I would like to ask you one last question. What do you think is the utility of forums like CxO Global?
Well, CxO Global Forum has, it covers altogether, different aspects of life and, of people, because who are trying to excel in their careers, talking about them, getting to new ideas, learning from new ideas. There are a lot of, prior interviews from which I have learned a lot from a lot of entrepreneurs. While looking at such interviews, and this is something which brings change, and maybe one short sentence of mine can change someone's life. So maybe that's the case in my case as well. When somebody who was being interviewed by a good self. I was just listening to it, and it brought, maybe he said something, and it brought an idea to me that how I should evolve my startup or something, which I'm not doing right. So yeah, it's a forum which will bring value to the society. That's how I put it, in short words.
Brilliant. Thank you, sir. Please keep contributing to the knowledge economy. We wish you all the best.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Anza. It's an honor talking to you. Cheers. Cheers.
Appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all for today. But please keep us updated with your comments and feedback. We look forward to them. See you next time with another very interesting guest. Till then, here's me signing off.